love. Oh girl, you blow my mind. I know what I would like to do, but you just keep on talking. I see your dog needs walking. Your folk drive you insane. I know, yeah, that's true. Of course, you ain't the one to blame. Keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking to me, but I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. Sure, I like to listen. It's not like I don't wanna know. It's just that you've been talking to me 3 nights in a row. I think it's time to let go. Forget the past, just lose control. 'Cause life's too short for yapping. Come on and dance, come give me soul. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking. You keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking, but I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you.
What a night, people dancing in slow motion, blurry eyes. But I've had enough, it's time to say goodbye. 3 a.m. as I'm walking home with a smile. Smoky moon, like a shiver, all the shadows fade away. All your streets are empty, lights begin to sway. 4 a.m. as I think, oh, Stockholm love. Sometimes I picture how life had been in Paris or New York or Shanghai. But you know what they say, east or west, our home is best. Warming rays, golden sunlight as the city wakes. Oh, my love for you will never fade away. 5 a.m. as I sing, oh, Stockholm love. Stockholm love.
So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find a better one.
Come on.
Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. And nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Before it flies. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now,
We're doing.
before the moment flies.
Bobbity bop. We're back. Shout out to the confident, intelligent, and assertive men out there. The CIA. One love to the feminine, beautiful, inspirational ladies in the house. They're none other than the FBI. How we doing, y'all? We're back. And I'm going to tell you, last night, we set the internet on fire. It was on fire last night up in this mug. Women were losing their minds over the notion of having to even contemplate the notion of sharing a man, which I think is rather interesting because some of the most ardent critics were women with children from other men. If you missed that stream last night, you missed a barn burner. Go back and check it out. I'm gonna tell you that you missed a barn freaking burner. But today we on another broadcast on another mission, and what I'm going to ask you to do is make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you still subscribe to the channel because YouTube does what they do from time to time, and I want to make sure that you're still subscribed. Candle of the evening. None other than Incense 9. And fragrance of the evening started out today with the little brother to this fragrance, Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. And we rounded out the evening with Tom Ford Neroli Portofino Forte, one of the best clean, fresh fragrances on the planet. That's just what it is. So, camera one. Hi, camera one. Camera two. Hey, camera two. Camera three. Here's what I want to talk about. And here's what I would like for you guys to do. Please do me one favor. Keep the engagement up, folks. I don't want to look down and see, fewer, less than half of the view count is half of the likes. We're in members only chat right now. I started off by letting subscribers kind of rock out, but hey, membership has its privileges. Now, I want to ask some basic questions to women today. And I'm on Instagram right now too. So this is going on Instagram because I'm going to be bringing in the ladies from the gram. And then next week, I'll be integrating Facebook and possibly TikTok into it. But I have some basic questions. Some basic questions for the ladies. Ladies, what's the cost of submission? Because I've been seeing a lot of videos, a lot of content, a lot of hoopla talking about, men who make under a certain amount of money shouldn't be saying a damn thing about submission because you don't have enough money. You can't pay the cost to be the boss, so, shut up when it comes to submission. Sorry about that. And for the sake of argument, we're going to use the number of $50,000. Okay? Nice round numbers, $50,000. Because it's easy for everybody to kind of grasp. $50,000. We're going to say that's what the average man in America makes, okay? That's what we're going to say. Not necessarily true, but that's what we're going to say. And here's the thing. What men are being told is, look here, partner, if you don't make 100,000 or more, well, you just got to deal with whatever you get. I hear you. That's what I hear. But I want to talk about something. How much does submission cost, ladies? I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a very simple question. And I want you to think about it. Because a lot of women talk about what they deserve and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, all right, but how did you arrive at what you deserve? Here's some questions I want to ask you, ladies. Off the top, how much do you charge for submission, ladies? How much do you charge for submission? Why is this thing not going over? How much do you charge for submission? Don't know. Anybody want to hazard a guess at how much modern women are charging for submission? I could not tell you. But I am willing to have the conversation because I think it's a fair conversation. Everybody keeps telling women that, stop letting somebody determine your value and your pride and your cost and your this and your that. And I'm like, you know what? Fair play. But for the men who are paying attention and the men that you want to deal with, I've already said that yesterday. Many women want men of a certain caliber, okay? And the question is not whether or not you deserve them or anything like that. The question is, can you get them? Can you get the kind and caliber of man that you want? Why is this not transferring over there? Okay. Well, we'll do it this way. I don't understand why it's doing it that way, but we'll do it this way. Let's do that. Can you get the man you want? And that's where the rubber meets the road, because that's where a lot of these arguments fall on their face. A lot of women say one thing. They say one thing, but when it gets right down to it, many women cannot afford the man they want. That's what it is. A lot of women cannot afford the man they want, and then they get upset that the man they actually qualify for ain't on a certain level. And it's like, well, what do you want the men to do, ladies? What do you want the men to do outside of the fact that you want the men to provide a lifestyle for you that you feel like you deserve? And I can't say that I'm upset in the main. What I can say is where these ideas and concepts come from. Industrially, family impacted. Okay, I think that's it. All right, this is how it kind of sorts out. Let's take some history, shall we? Let's take a history lesson. Let us take a history lesson. Boom. Marriage in early America. Everybody see that? Marriage in early America. I wish I had somebody to come read in front of the class. Marriage in early America. What was the average age of marriage? What was the average age of marriage in the 1700s? And in the colonies, it was roughly 19.8 years old in the 1700s. In the 1800s, 21.2. And by the late 18th century, it jumped to 23.7. What is some of the major reasons why our thoughts about relationships and marriage have changed? You got to understand that for most of civilization, we've been farmers until the Industrial Revolution. Late 1800s, beginning of the 20th century. How did industrialization change marriage? Industrialization changed the family by converting it from a unit of production into a unit of consumption. Back in the day, everybody was a farmer. You were a lawyer and a farmer, a blacksmith and a farmer. Your day was spent trying to get enough calories, clean water, and just living. So a wife and a husband needed to get together early, make enough children to work the farm and produce. The family was about production. But in the Industrial Revolution, that changed because we left the farm and went into factories. Okay, we left the farm and went into factories. Let's do it this way. We left the farm and went into factories. And that changed a great deal of things for people. What did it do? What another thing to do? How did dating change in the Industrial Revolution? Industrial Revolution brought men and women together without the supervision of their parents or families. It allowed them to interact in a centralized location outside of parental control. They had greater variety, more options of partners, and they were more romanticized about the past. So you've got to remember, you go from the farm and families being units of production to units of consumption, buyers. Industrialization changed the family, causing a decline in fertility and the transformation between the relationships between spouse, parents, and children. This change occurred unevenly and gradually varied by social class and occupation. Remember that. Pre-industrial revolution, people pretty much had the same thing. Industrial revolution, you had the rise of the consumption and you had a rise of the middle class and social stratification. How was the family impacted by these phenomena? Well, the family was impacted greatly. During industrialization, home life and work life became separated. In agrarian society, you woke up and you were at work. The farm was the work. The blacksmith, the baker, the candlestick maker, that's what you did. You did what your father did and your father's father, and that's what it was. But now we separate home life and work life. Women's role in the industrial economy took a major hit as they were more of a housewife, and men worked long hours to make money for their families to consume. So I want women to ask themselves a question. When have women ever had this plush life? When we had the agrarian society, women worked the farm, had babies, and got back out in the fields. Not everybody owned slaves, so we can't even do that one. Then Industrial Revolution came along, home life and work life separated. Men went to work, women stayed at home. But it also allowed social mobility. It allowed dating options, and it allowed variety. Get the likes up, people. But at the end of the day, it turned people from producers to consumers, which meant what you could produce with your trade, farm, or whatever, now has been reduced down to money. What a man is no longer his trade, his profession. Okay? That you can no longer have the impact of a man having a hunter, a fisher, or whatever. And he had that to teach to his son, and he could stand on it. It made men very monolithic. You had to work. And how did you separate yourself as a man? Education, income, and like I said, the social stratification started. There were some positions that paid more, some that were less. What am I showing you? That in the turn of the 20th century, you saw a boom in the 20s. You saw the aristocracy, the first real wealth. Wealth distribution really changed in America. Why is this important? Because enough people don't realize, do the history, understand the sociology of human beings. You think this stuff just happens. To where now you have 100% of women who used to understand what their role was going to be because their mother, their grandmother, and for generations back, that's what you did. And men knew what their profession was going to be. You got choice. And with choice comes responsibility. But you had to give up something for that freedom. Women ended up leaving the production, going into the housewife. As women had it. The women who could do that had it better, but then what did women want? In the 20s, you had the suffrage movement, first wave feminism. Women wanted to be removed from the house. They wanted to go work. Now, you were spared from the plow to be a housewife, but now you want to go back to the plow. No, you didn't want to go to the plow. You wanted to go to the office. Women didn't want to do the dirty jobs. They wanted to do the jobs that they romanticized men did. Fine. And that has been with us. What men do, women tend to want to do the better parts of it. Why is this important? Because men at the top have always had to marry down. Men up the top have always had to marry down. Women at the top don't want to marry down. They want to marry at the top. Well, if you're at the top of the socioeconomically, if you're in the top 10%, the only above you is 5, 3, and 1. Why is all this important? Because we have talked ad nauseum about high value men and women and what women want. But the notion that if you don't make enough money, if you don't make over 6 figures, you don't deserve submission. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Where in the history of civilization have women who were average, below average, average, and above average ever been able to tell men that you don't deserve femininity? Submission is a trait of femininity. Just like leadership and protection is a trait of masculinity. But today you got women saying you don't get their feminine submission without paying for it. Fine, ladies, how much do you charge? Instagram, ladies, how much do you charge for your submission? If you are a 4, 5, or 6, that puts you roughly around the average. That is roughly 60% of women. 60% of women fall between the 4, 5, and 6 range and below. 50% of women are 5 and below. 40% of women are 6 and below. 60% of women are 4 and below. Most of you ladies watching this right now or the rebroadcast are average by what men judge. But I want you to understand how we got here. Women have been given the notion that because they can do what men do, they should be able to get what men get. Well, if you're up here socioeconomically, you automatically as a woman need to be expecting to marry down happily. But we're here for the average women. Because the 8s, 9s, and 10s, Charging for submission, that's different. Let's get to it. How much does your submission cost? How much do you charge for your submission, ladies? Next, ladies, how did you set your price? How did you set your submission price? Because see, it's funny to me that women can talk about if you don't make enough money, you can't call shots, okay? And when I hear men say this stuff, I start to get pissed off. Because what you're basically saying is the men who built this country, built this world, average men don't get what average men have always gotten. I got a real freaking problem with that. I got a real freaking problem with that. When your grandfather and great-grandfather, who was born in the 1800s or early 1900s, they barely had a 6th grade education, and they got femininity and submission. And so did men. Today's men make more money than they've ever made, than men have ever made in mass, but women are saying they deserve less. Okay. How much do you charge for your submission? How did you set your price? How did you set your submission price, ladies? How did you set your price? How did you set your price? Did you set it on what you want to get, or did you set it on the market? How did you set your submission price? No, you don't know? See, when a woman asks you, hey, when you meet a woman and she asks you, hey, what do you do? What's your profession? You should say, I'm an account executive. How much do you charge for submission? That's the first thing that should come out of your mouth. How much do you charge for submission? Oh my God. They'd be like, what? Well, yeah. You're asking me how much money I make, and I'm asking you, how much do you charge for your submission? I need to know whether or not I can afford it. So how much do you charge for your submission? And I want to know, ladies, how did you set your price? How did you set your price? You don't know? Oh, you just came up with a number. You just say you want a high value man because you deserve it, because you are a woman and got a vagina. You all have that. How did you set your submission price? Here's the better question. How much is your submission worth? How much is your submission worth, ladies? You, right there, man. How much is your submission worth? How much is it worth? Well, look at the men you've been dating on the open market, and that pretty much tell you what your submission is worth. I think it's funny how we have so many average women. We have so many average women who've never dated a man on a certain level, all of a sudden demanding higher value men. Camera's frozen. Demanding higher value men. Okay, cool. Why? Why? How much is your submission worth, ladies? Hold on just a second. See, there's a difference between the cost of something and what it's worth. You may say your submission costs X, but what it's worth is what the market is willing to pay for it from a woman like you. And this is why women so sternly resist rankings. They want to rank men to determine whether or not they should submit to them, but they resist pricing their submission. I don't want your femininity. Submission is a trait of femininity. If you submit, you're feminine. I want to know how much it costs. How'd you set your price? In order to set your price, you need to know how much it was worth. And then lastly, ladies, over 35 years old, you hit no man's land. When you hit no man's land, at what age did submission go on sale? Because at 25, 27 to 35, in the danger zone, it's time to mark that stuff off. 27 to 35, half off. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? 27 to 35? Y'all remember that on Instagram? Y'all want to see that again? 27 to 35. And see, ladies are getting hot when I talk about this because women really don't want you to know what it's worth. Why would somebody not want you to know what something's worth if they're selling it on the market? Do you think that seller is operating in good faith? I don't. I think the seller is trying to get over on you. That's what I think. I think the seller is trying to get over on you. And see, we're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to say that, guys. You're just supposed to say, what do you charge for your submission? Cool. Remember this?
30, 50% off.
Y'all remember this?
Yeah, 27, time to sell.
27 time to sell.
50% off. Over 35 on clearance. 40, outlet. 50, Goodwill, Salvation Army.
Y'all want to hear that again?
Yeah, 27, time to sell. 30, 50% off. Over 35 on clearance. 40, outlet. 50, Goodwill, Salvation Army.
Boom. Over 27, time to sell. 30, 50% off. 35, clearance. 40, outlet. 50, Goodwill Salvation Army. When does your submission go on sale? That's what I was talking about last night. When is it time for women to consider sharing a man? Well, if you want a high value man and you over 35 and you already at over 50% off or more on your submission, why should a high value man pay 100% of monogamy for a 50% off product? Oh, we're not products, we're people. That's so callous. And see, all that shaming language, guys, it's just meant to make you not be rational. It's just meant to make you it's meant to make you try to lower your value and settle for them. See, they don't want to settle for you, but you're supposed to settle for them. That's what's supposed to happen. And that's not cool, ladies. That's not cool at all. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to actually open up Instagram and bring some of the women in because I want to know, how much do you charge for your submission? How did you set your price? How much is it worth? And when does it go on sale? Inquiring minds would like to know, ladies. We would really, really like to know.
Mama,
Ladies, whether you like it or not, it is an abundantly fair question. If if an average man cannot demand submission because he doesn't make enough, argument accepted. How much does submission cost? How much does submission cost, and how much does it cost for a man to start demanding submission? Do-do-do-do-do. One at a time, people. One at a time. Oh, let me help you out. Hold on. I wish his baby mama would get on here and talk. She loves my program. She loves it. She thinks many of y'all are stupid, honestly. My ex watches. So does my daughter. So run tell that. Always looking for somebody to be like, I wish so and so would happen. Why don't you just get your shit together? What am I saying that's wrong? I asked a question, but I want you to understand that these women get so triggered that you even ask a question. You got to be destroyed, dude. We can't have that. We can't have you asking us no questions. Okay, you got to chill out. You got to chill out. You got to cool out. Whoa. Hey, how are you? Hi. I'm fabulous. How are you? Calm down, please. I'm good. I know you're excited, but let's try to maintain. Let me get my ego together. I mean, it's okay, but I don't want you to see it and be out of frame. That's cool. How old are you, by the way? 33. 33. Okay. So the question is, how much do you charge? Are you married or are you single?
I'm getting married on October 2nd.
Oh. Well, all right. Well, I asked you a question in general. How much did you charge for your submission? How about that? You can answer that.
As a natural response to a good man.
No, it's not. So you're saying that, hello? See, I want you guys to understand. That's what you just saw. The duck and run. A natural response to a good man. So what women like her are basically saying, if you don't get submission, it's on you. That's why I'm going to destroy this argument tonight. Because at the end of the day, let's do this real quick too. Yeah, you should have answered the question before you did that, because you're going to be on there forever. Hey man, whoever you're marrying, she did it, man, not me. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Let's turn that back on. I know, right? What's going on with this? It won't click on. Yeah, today women today really don't want to check their pride level. It's really kind of outrageous for a lot of women. None of them should have to do anything. And that's cool. Instagram is kind of stuck right now, so we're gonna have to start this over. Turn on commenting, finisher, turn on request to go live. Yeah, they're stuck. Boom. Yep, we're gonna have to restart Instagram. We'll just put this in. Oh yeah, by the way, this is being streamed to YouTube, Instagram. So if you're thinking about doing something stupid, don't try to upload this. All you're gonna do is get a strike. Actually, a couple of people lost their channels. I tried to tell you, don't do that. Let's do this. How much does submission cost. All right. I think it's funny, gentlemen. Anybody? And I want you guys to. I want to see if anybody else agrees that the resistance for of women to set a price seems hilarious. Seems hilarious to me that so many women are so resistant to say, "Well, I charge $85,000 annually." That's at least something you can work with. That's at least something a man can work with. Why is it that women don't want to? Why is it that I would tell you? Why is it that women don't want to do that? And I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm going to give you guys an example, and I'm going to see if it makes sense to you. Remember the car company Saturn? They tried to revolutionize the car buying business by putting the price on the sticker. You go into a store, you put the price on the sticker. Women don't want to put the price on the sticker. Why? Because it gives them an advantage. They want you to buy it, but they want you to negotiate it. And I'm asking to the women and also the men who have this position, I started to ask, can an average man demand submission? That's too easy of a question. My question is, how much does your submission cost? We're not going to talk about what the men can get. We're going to ask, how much do you charge? That's the question. How much do you charge? Not whether or not a man is worth it. How much do you charge? Hello, how are you?
How's it going, Mr. Samuels?
I'm well. How old are you?
I am 31.
All right. Are you single or are you married?
I am married.
Okay. All right. I want to talk to the single women, but I'm going to ask you, do you think it's a valid question? Asking how much submission costs?
I think that, from what I agree with a lot of the points that we've made, that women are freer, but we're not happier necessarily. So I think...
First off, is a question valid?
Yes.
Okay. Now you're saying you're freer, but you're not happy.
Right. And I guess, I'm not a man, but I guess from the man's perspective, it's better for him to know what he's dealing with, I guess.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
Okay. Is that harder than being a high school student? Okay. Where have you ever elevated in position and life is supposed to become easier? Or happier?
It doesn't. It becomes harder.
So with freedom, why would women think because you got more freedoms, you're supposed to be happier? You got more responsibility.
Right. And I think they lose track of the...
Well, marriage is not supposed to make you happy. And that's one of the big problems is our job is not to make you happy. Your job is to support us, and happiness is supposed to come in relationships and things like that. But I try to keep married women kind of to a minimum. So I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks for the opportunity.
All right. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. How old are you?
24.
24. Okay. The question on the table is, how much does submission cost?
So I would say that an average earner.
Okay.
I feel like I have been like ready to do that for an average person. So that makes average.
All right. An average earner, 24. You would charge an average earner. What's an average earner?
30K, 40K.
Yeah. At 24, I mean, as long as you're willing to live with that, cool. But that's $15. That's $15 an hour. So if you say an average earner is $30,000, you're prepared to live at that for a lifetime.
Yeah, and I need more than that only because I know that.
Hold on. I want to be clear. You're willing to live at that number for a lifetime? No, 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 no,
But I mean,
no. Average people. No, no. See, where in the world do average people ever progress exponentially? But they don't progress exponentially in the workplace. So I want to go back. You say an average earner. All right, at 24. But at 55, you'd be okay with an average earner? With 55-year-old bills and 55-year-old kids and 55-year-old responsibilities? Okay. Are you working?
yes,
What do you do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
All right. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe one. Do you want kids?
I do.
How many children?
Yes. I think 2.
So you okay with? So you're all right with being the breadwinner?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, as long as you're happy with, as long as here's the thing. I hope you're being honest, because the average man, there's certain things that men cannot do anything about. Average is average for a reason, and more men are having issues with women who are making more money, not wanting to quote unquote marry down. So cool. Well, I hope you're honest and being truthful. I'm gonna be honest.
I was fine that though.
Well, that's not the broadcast. It's not the help me find a man broadcast today. The question is on the table. I'm going to also open up the Zoom line too, because the funny thing is, let's see. Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay. How old are you?
36.
36. Are you single or are you married?
I'm divorced.
Okay. Any children?
I'm a 13-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm. So, the man you were married to, how much did you charge him for submission?
No monetary fee.
Explain. Were you submissive in your marriage?
Yes.
Who filed for divorce? Huh?
Divorce.
You care to share the grounds?
Yes. Well, he was. We were a military family, and there was an
Recording in progress.
deployed on his end, and the trust was never rebuilt after that.
So he filed for divorce because he cheated on you?
Essentially, he filed for divorce because I couldn't trust him, and it definitely broke down the trust in our relationship.
Were you working?
I am a career woman. I'm a licensed clinical therapist.
Did you watch my broadcast last night?
I did.
What do you think about sharing a man?
It's not really consistent with my values at this time, but I can see how it might be consistent. I mean, I don't have any judgment against men who want to share and women who want to share.
But do you want to remarry?
I do. I still believe in the sanctity of marriage and monogamy.
Well, monogamy and those two things aren't synonymous. And that's one of the big lies of the 20th century. Sanctity of marriage, did you use, when you got married, are you Christian?
I am.
Okay, well then, in the Bible, where's monogamy in the Bible?
Well, that was part of the reason. Yeah, I mean.
See, here's what I see, and I'm asking you questions because you were married and you couldn't forgive. Or you wouldn't retrust. Okay, fine. But now if you want to get remarried, some man is going to have to take somebody else's kids. They're going to have to share you.
My daughter is a blessing, so with
Your daughter is your blessing. Your daughter's a liability to that's not how that works. It's not how that works. Your daughter, as wonderful as she is she an asset or a liability to another man?
She's the right hand, she's an asset.
Okay, see, now we get there, people. No. How is your child an asset when a man, okay, let's take it away from you. Let's take it to the mammal king. Let's take it to mammals. When males take over a pride or women, what happens to the cubs? What happens to the offspring of the other men?
Wait, are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. In the animal kingdom, when when lions take over a new pride, what happens to the cubs of the other lion? The previous lion.
You're asking me about when male lions.
Yeah, ma'am. Is it natural for a man to take care of another man's kids?
Not a lion.
Ma'am, okay, ma'am, okay, all right. So now we're getting there. Now we're getting there. Ma'am, I just asked you, is it natural for a man to take care of another man's children?
I can speak from the perspective of a natural.
What do you think, ma'am? See, now when they start to be disingenuous or deflect, they don't want to answer the question. So for the people not understanding how we got here is you were married and your husband cheated. I'm taking your story as it is, and you could not forgive. Okay. But you want to be remarried. You're coming into another marriage with somebody else's kid. That man is going to have to share you with those kids and another man. Why is it okay for him to share and not you? Your child, ma'am, no matter how you slice it, is a liability to another man. He has to pay for another man's seed.
So I guess that's part of what I know that I want and what I learned. See, my ex-husband that was my daughter's stepdad. So that was his attitude. And that's part of what was.
Hold on, your husband was your daughter's stepdad. So you had a baby mama, so you had a kid before you got married. That made the story even worse.
As in, like.
I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. Why, as a woman who chose to have a child outside of wedlock, why were you entitled to, do you think I don't want to say, why, you were fortunate you even got married. And a man stepped in, yes. And see, this is why I want you ladies to understand that women today honestly believe, ma'am, unhealthy. You're just talking. You're talking, ma'am. You had a baby, and that's cool. I get it. But why didn't you marry your child's father?
Why did I marry my daughter's father? Because I didn't want to. And that was not the path that I took for a reason.
I'm asking why.
I just didn't want to. He wasn't marriage material.
But he was birth material.
He was someone that I did have a child with.
No, ma'am. See, I want you to, and see, the reason I'm doing this, ma'am, and the reason I'm doing this is I want you to understand these women are so much character driven, and I want you to listen to the answers. Get over my tone, listen to the intent. These character driven women, I asked you a question, she's not being direct. It's not something I wanted to do. Then why'd you make a baby with him?
I wanted to.
Exactly. And there we go. When they start answering questions with questions, they're triggered and deflecting. This is all it is. So again, we got baby mama who had a stepdaddy. Stepdaddy, who he was already sharing her with her kid and possibly the baby daddy, because he decided to step out on the marriage, if I believe her. I don't believe anything coming out of her mouth right now because she's been so disingenuous. But even at that, she could not forgive. Fine. You got a husband, you had a baby daddy, you got an ex-husband. Why do you women feel like you get unlimited men? Maybe you're just out of the game, ma'am.
There's a lot of assumptions. Even the assumption that I cannot forgive. That's not what happened at all. I didn't say I divorced him because I
You said you couldn't get over it, ma'am. You couldn't get over it, man. Whatever, ma'am. I know what I heard. I know what I heard. You said you couldn't get over it. I don't have to be exact. But the bottom line is, ma'am, modern women are so goddamn entitled. That's why I let this go, guys. Because they come in with these Pollyanna eyes and looking so innocent. He cheated and he did this. And all you're hearing is modern woman. You already got a kid. We're fortunate enough to find someone to marry you. You say he cheated and stepped out. If we believe the story is the way it is, couldn't get over it. Then you want to get remarried one day. Cool. But that man has to already share you with another man you made a child with. And women think that's fair. Perfect. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. I want you to understand how insane that sounds to men. And she came in with, I'm my character. What fucking character? I made a baby because I wanted to. Okay. Why did you do it? And I asked the initial question, how much did you charge for submission? No cost, because she wasn't the least bit submissive. Not the least bit submissive. She came through the door with attitude. And I think some of the worst women to deal with are Christian, Bible-thumping, entitled, righteous baby mamas. Some of the worst. Oh my God, you cannot make this shit up. Enjoy that one. Wow. Wow. So my critics and detractors, listen, don't get hung up on me. Listen to how women talk about men.
I was on the phone, so let me take my scarf off. Hold on. Okay.
Hey, how old are you?
32.
Are you single or are you married? Okay, your head's off the camera, ma'am. You have to get on camera.
I ain't taking myself.
You ain't taking your scarf off? Then go away. I don't know where these people get off thinking what they got. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I find it funny that so many of my critics and detractors spend so much time worried about my tone and my words, and you don't listen to the venom and the sarcasm and the disrespect and just the disdain that comes out of women's mouths when they're just talking about men. But I think it's funny when women get fed up listening to women's bullshit, they can say whatever the hell they want to. Gentlemen, this stuff is going to be studied. We are seeing a pathology play out that is really rather crazy. I mean, wow. And I want you to understand, we got righteously indignant baby mamas. Hello. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Okay, let's reset. Are you single or are you married?
I'm single.
All right. Any children?
One.
How old is your child?
Oh gosh, you're gonna kill me, but he's 3 months.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
But you know what? I want to say this as well. I would be considered a high value one. I feel like
You would be considered a high value or you would not?
I would be.
Okay. Why do you think that?
You know, I make the income. I have that self-confidence. I have that, you know, I watch your lives. I can't believe you just even.
Okay, so you have the money, you have the self-confidence.
I have the self-confidence. I have been in multiple relationships where, you know, I have been proposed to. I did just have a child. I've been with my guy for 2 years, so I know you may.
Are y'all still together?
But that, we are still. Hold on. Go put it back in your mom's room. It's really quick. Really quick. Go put it back in there really quick.
Are you still with the man?
Hey, girl, I
Oh my God. Oh no 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 no
Okay.
no no
But
no.
yeah,
Mm-mm. Uh-uh. You got to get that under control. All that background noise and all that stuff. That's not how we do that.
so yes, I am. What some, will make us consider a high value woman. I make the income I make. I am a serial entrepreneur. I just had my first child.
Ma'am, ma'am, stop. I'll let you speak, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions because if you're with somebody, but I'm going to just be direct. What you just described as a high value woman, men don't give a shit about that. That does not make you high value. Low, 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 low. See, I let you talk,
Okay, so
and you can tell me some. I don't know why you ladies feel so damn comfortable with some, just because you can make that up. No. But if you're with a guy, congratulations. I'm gonna leave it alone. Are you guys getting married?
so
That's a yes or no.
are we going to get married?
Uh-huh.
That's the spot. So
Excuse me? Yes? You broke up.
hear me?
You broke up.
You hear me now?
Yes.
So I would say yes. He hasn't proposed? No.
All right.
Yeah. Together, we've been together for a few years.
Okay. Have a good evening, ma'am. I mean, I don't want to. You're engaged, and the things I would say to you may wreck your relationship. But I will speak in general. You know, when women are married, I try to kind of let that be because they've already been selected by a man. But I just want you ladies to ask yourself, did you hear submission requires good faith and humility? There is a peacefulness that comes along when women who submit. It's not something you do with your teeth gritted. And I just want you to ask yourself as you listen to women, are you hearing humility and good faith? If I put most women who speak, put their voice in a changer, you would think that the person speaking is a man by what comes out of their mouths. It's insane how many women think I'm a high value. I mean, that's not what men care about. Some guys do. Okay, some guys. But at the end of the day, I want you to remember the women who tend to make these arguments, all unmarried, the majority have kids. Hello, how are you?
Great.
Good. How old are you?
I am 27 years old.
All right. You need to turn your volume down a little bit.
Turn it down?
Yeah, you're getting kind of a reverb.
Okay.
Okay. Are you single or are you married?
I am in a relationship.
So you're single.
Correct, I'm not married.
All right. You have any children?
No.
How long have you been in your relationship?
About 4 months.
About 4 months. Do you want to be married one day?
Yes.
Okay. How much are you going to charge for your submission?
Submission in my lifestyle is trust and being a provider. So
Trust and being a what?
you want a number on it?
No. You said in your submission, you said is the trust in being a provider?
Yes, being a head of the household, I just expect him to lead and me be able to trust his word.
Yeah, but how much are you going to charge for that?
I'm gonna charge what it takes to.
No. Give us a number, an annual number. How much are you going to charge annually for your submission?
Our mortgage.
Okay, I don't. Okay, I'm trying to be respectful. You know what I'm asking. Why are you resisting answering the question as it's asked?
I personally feel like it's the number on it is the rent or the mortgage of the home. Personally, we have to put a number on it. We're putting the rent, the mortgage of a home.
You don't. Okay. How much is rent or mortgage?
Let's say,
It depends on where you live.
of course.
See,
So let's say,
the reason this question is effective, gentlemen, is because it makes women actually ask, and you see how they squirm. You're squirming, and I'm just asking, how much are you going to charge? Meaning, how much does your man have to make annually for you to choose to be submissive to him?
over 6 figures.
What does that mean, ma'am? Over 6 figures?
Over $100,000.
All right. I'm really trying to be patient. I'm about to not be. And if that happens, it won't be because I haven't tried.
I understand.
Over 6 figures. Put it in a ballpark, ma'am, an approximation.
Approximately.
No, ma'am, give me a number. Close it, round it to the nearest $10,000.
Let's say $250,000 a year.
What state do you live in?
Florida.
What city?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
City?
Miami.
Okay. Do you want children?
Yes.
How many?
2.
Do you want to be a housewife or do you want to have to work?
I work, but
Do you want to be a housewife or do you want to have to work?
I'd like to be a housewife.
Okay. $250,000 in Florida don't go very far with family of 5.
Correct.
Okay.
But I do make.
Housewife don't make nothing. Now, all I'm asking is, see, this is a good question for you guys to ask women because you see how they're trying to do the calculations, and what they're really saying is, I charge a hell of a lot of money to submit, but I don't want to say it because it sounds bad.
Right.
But y'all don't mind charging it.
I mean, I would like a financially stable man. I personally have set that tone. I want a man that makes a certain level of income so I can cook and be in my feminine place.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you. Okay, so like I said earlier, when I was talking to people, how did you set your price? How did you set your price? Yeah, so you said you would like a man who does X, Y, and Z. How did you set that number?
How did I set that number? I looked at the cost of living where I live and what I make and what I would want from my man to make from the very first day.
And you're 27?
Yes.
Did you go to college?
Yes.
What's your degree in?
Communication and public.
Okay. What do you do for a profession?
I would do e-commerce. I own e-commerce brands doing around 7 to 8 figures a year.
So, you set your femininity price based upon what you want your man to make based upon your income.
No. Well, yes and no, because I'm not looking for a man to make equal or greater income, but I am looking for him to make enough.
Ma'am, you want to be a housewife. He has to make more money.
Well, he has to make enough for the lifestyle I'm looking for.
Right. And what is that? A luxe lifestyle?
At least $250,000.
$250,000 a year today with no children. That's what you're not adding.
Yes.
See, what they're basically, no offense, but y'all don't think about anything else other than yourselves. He has a lifestyle. He has to pay for your lifestyle, and he has to pay for these kids. So how much is he going to need to make to replace your income?
Probably double that, honestly. Let's
Well,
be realistic.
Well, if you're a business person and you're charging for your feminine submission, don't you think you should know how much a man needs to make to afford it? Because you said 250, and I just said not Miami, but you're talking like a single woman, but you're on the market.
I was being modest, but
And I wasn't being modest. Modest. I just don't think you were given the number, factoring in kids and what it's going to cost.
correct.
So how much is a man going to need to make then for your submission?
At least 7 figures in a Miami lifestyle with 2 children.
7 figures. What did your mother and father do for a living?
My dad buys and sells private jets and refurbishes them.
What did your mom do?
My mom was a traditional housewife.
Okay. Did your mother raise you to be a traditional housewife?
Yes. I was raised to cook. No matter what time it is, I will say that I was raised to cook.
Traditional housewives don't run e-commerce businesses.
Correct.
Traditional housewives generally are married before 25.
Correct. I don't know why I paused.
Traditional housewives are generally married before 25.
There you go. Correct.
And then what ethnicity do you want your husband to be?
Definitely a minority. Probably.
Oh, goddamn. I said ethnicity. Why can't y'all answer? A minority.
Ethnicity would be
Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or other. Which one do you prefer, man?
preferably black.
Now, I want you guys to understand something. Men are very simple communicators, direct. And I want you guys to go through my videos and listen to how many times I ask a direct question and I get some vague bullshit indirect answer. This is a technique women typically do to try to frustrate men to get out of our frame. It's a control tactic. It's what girls learn in order to, and it's when they learn this as little girls to exert their influence. You know exactly what you're doing. I'm just calling it out. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's really not. But I'll do this because you think you're getting something out of it, but you know the question I'm asking. I asked you the ethnicity. I'm a minority. When you said, then why not just say that first?
Getting more comfortable, so
Excuse me?
I said I'm getting more comfortable.
Are you black?
Yes,
Then why not just say black?
you're right. Black man making over $1 million.
Right. How many of those in this country?
Less than 1%.
Give me a number.
The number, probably less than 10,000. Probably a very small number.
Yeah, very small. How old do you think they typically are?
Over 25. I think that's a good range for a man making 7 figures.
At what age does a man hit his financial stride?
You tell me.
Well, ma'am, you said your mom raised you to be a traditional housewife, and you said your dad sold and bought jets. If you were raised to live in this lifestyle, I would think you would understand the economics behind it, the setup behind it. But as we talk, you were raised to be a modern woman because you're talking like one. You have a business, you want this lifestyle, Lux lifestyle, and you don't even understand. You don't speak like a woman who understands who these men are. You just know what they have. 45 to 55 is when a man hits his financial stride. So you're comfortable. Excuse me?
In 2022, when there's so many different avenues,
Use the census yourself. That's what it is, ma'am. How do men legally make so much money early in their career?
tech companies.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, and that's what I want you guys to understand. I'm saying it. And I want you ladies, I'm glad you said that because you don't think you mean this, but y'all ladies, women, y'all think it's just magic. Y'all think that it's just because technology exists that all of a sudden the structural limitations on higher income just went away. Just because the internet exists, smartphones, Google, crypto, and technology, does that change the percentage of men at the top?
I don't feel like it changes the percentage. I feel like it changes the age.
No, it doesn't. Not appreciably. Because what profession, okay. Shaq just sold his house. 76,000 square foot house. Shaq, you know who he is, right? Big Diesel. What profession do you think, what was the profession of the person who purchased that home? What do you think it was?
Tech. Anything internet based.
His fucking house was bought by a dentist.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
And that's the problem. You want men in this category you don't know. It's like Chris Rock. I live where I live in the gated community. My next door neighbor is a dentist. What professions, what are some of the top 10 highest earning professions in this country?
In this country, from what I was aware of, I did think it was Silicon Valley type professions, things that were software companies.
That's one industry. What other ones?
What other ones? E-commerce brands, e-commerce owners. And then obviously then you have people in the medical field, and then you have people in oil and motor and things like that, or even just automotive.
Have you ever dated a millionaire?
I have.
Seriously? Vetted you for marriage?
It didn't get that far because of my lack of submission.
I thought you were raised to be a traditional housewife.
But I had to go to therapy. I had to learn a little bit how to take a step back and be in my feminine place. I'm not going to sit here like I didn't have an ego problem when I first started making money, like a lot of women.
And you think that's worth $1 million?
I think that going to therapy and understanding as a woman I need to change is worth $1 million, yes.
There's a McLaren, but the motor blew up. And the transmission got locked. And it was involved in a wreck. But because he took it to the mechanic and it made it look and almost like new, it's worth brand new prices.
I feel like you're comparing that situation if I had a child or
No, I'm comparing the situation that you're 27, you've got a lot of ego. Fine, cool. But that runs out because pretty is a dime a dozen in this world. There are plenty of pretty women who are married to dudes who sell insurance, men who sell insurance. Men who make the kind of money you're talking about, what do they want more than anything else?
for me to make their life easier.
They want cooperation and peace, but are you peaceful?
Very peaceful. I've learned that's come up with time. It's definitely come with time.
So I want you folks to understand that $1 million is an insane amount of money to put on but you're fine. But in order to get that, you have to understand who these men are. And I've just showed you that you really don't understand what they do. So how are you going to be around these men if you don't know what they do? You don't know their environment. That means to me, you haven't studied these men at all. So how are you really going to provide any peace to a subject you are ignorant about?
I'm going to take a step back and understand the environment that I want to be in and what I can bring to the table to make $1 million man.
Yeah, what if you get a man that's making about 55 to 75?
I'm not doing that.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Cool.
I feel like I can have a standard. I don't have
You can have it. No. See, the funny thing is when women do that, when we say you have standards, it's supposed to be okay. But if a man were to say something about weight, then it's toxic. Your $1 million standard, you can have whatever you want, but you're 27. And the reality is, competition is fierce for a very select few men. You don't know what they do. You don't know where they are. You don't know their profession. And And why I'm doing this is because you said you were raised to be this way, raised to be a traditional housewife. There's nothing traditional about you. You're a straight modern woman. And modern women, especially attractive women, end up getting flued out, wined and dined until they're 30. Then we move on to the 25-year-old version of you. That's what happens because you don't capitalize on the things you were taught or you knew in your youth because you were trying to hold out for a better deal, not realizing that you're not the prize. He is. That's what happens. And Miami is ground zero. So you should see this. So how has living in Miami helped you better land a millionaire?
I can definitely say I've seen more financial, environment of those types of men. But again, the men in those professions that you're speaking of aren't living in Miami. They're living in probably Boca or Fort Lauderdale.
Ma'am, men, the top paying professions are medical, not tech. Why am I doing this, folks? Because you're whether you understand or not, you're pretty emblematic of many women today. You want an extreme amount of money. Is your father a millionaire?
Yes.
Was he a millionaire at 25?
29.
Mm-hmm. And you said you did have a $1 million guy, but so top 20 jobs: software developer, dentist, like I said 3 effing times, lawyer. Excuse me?
We're both right.
No, we're not both right. No, we're not both right. You said tech, ma'am. You said tech. Today women want to use tech to mean anything that has to do with a computer. That's not tech. NFTs and crypto is not tech. This is sign language. This is why right here, and I want you to understand, what you just saw, therapy didn't work because you're still trying to be right.
I thought we could both be right, but
Okay, but the difference is you're the one that's still trying to land the guy. I'm the one that talks to the guys who look at you ladies and say, I'm not going to give her, no. She may be cute, but she's too unmanageable. Even the way she talked to you. Because you got to understand, the kind of man you're talking about, he has to bring around his colleagues, his clients. And this little back and forth that you've done here would fuck up a lot of money.
we'd never do that.
Okay, of course not. Remember, my pit bull never bites anybody. That's what it always is. Software developer, dentist, lawyer, surgeon, physician, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, financial manager, information security, psychiatrist, data scientist, pharmacist, registered nurse, statistician, sales management. And there get even more. But most of the high earning positions in this country require professional licensing. The reason people do this tech shit is because tech is this vague stuff that anybody can do and make 6 figures. And they think because you can make 6 figures, it can turn into 7, and it fucking doesn't. It requires certifications, professional schooling, and then it requires long hours, networking. How in the hell are you going to be a wife and run $1 million business and marry a man that has to work 16 hours? No, you're going to have to buy a French Bulldog, Shar-Pei, Schnauzer. That's much more likely. Because the men that you would naturally fit with, because million is extremely high, man. I would put you in the top 15 or 10%, but not million. That's a very different category. And those guys, you would think are beneath you. If a guy made $85,000, you'd be thinking he's beneath you.
I wouldn't consider him beneath me. I feel like I would have a hard time trusting his ability to provide for our children and our home.
So what's more important, people or your lifestyle? No, no, ma'am. If a man is making $85,000, he can provide. He just can't provide a luxe lifestyle. I asked the question exactly how I asked it.
Right. So money is going to be over for the lifestyle I'm looking for.
No. What's likely going to happen, because you can, if I put you in the room with these men, they would find you attractive. But let's go down that path. Are you okay with sharing?
Sharing my relationship?
Oh, yes. Yes, for sure. 100%.
No.
So, you want a millionaire. And you want my, excuse me. You want a millionaire. Because I asked you what's more important, people, relationships, or money. And at least you're aware enough to know, and I'm not going to call you shallow, but people will call it vain. That's cool. A lot of attractive women really are vain because you get shit given to you because you have pretty privilege. But I crisscross this country talking to women who are as attractive or more, who are single as hell. Matter of fact, they are headquartered in 5 cities: Los Angeles, Houston, Chicago, New York City, and Miami. Pretty professional prison. The men that, if your ego was in check, you would more likely be able to get with a guy who's top 15, top 10% earner, but you don't trust his ability to provide. He's in the top 15 or 10%, but he cannot provide Dior or Hermes. But if that's what you require, please, why should that man only have one woman?
Because I wouldn't ask him to drink out of the same water bottle another man drank out of.
Stop trying to be cute. And no. When have men in the top 1% in any monetary system, any system of government, any country, any time frame on the planet been strictly monogamous?
You're right. There's not a lot of monopoly left and a lot of...
No, not in top 1% men. When have men who are royalty or nobles ever been strictly monogamous?
We're not seeing it, no.
So then why do you get it?
In this day and age, there's a very high chance I'm not going to get it, but I do like to believe in hope that I can.
So you want to set yourself up for failure? Because because if put you in a room with the guy who's making $80,000 and you wouldn't trust his ability to provide, then put you in a room with a 7-figure man and he says straight up, "Oh, you can be my wife, but I am going to have 1 or 2 women on the side." You'll know about them.
At least we're getting honest.
Oh no, we're going to be real honest, because here's the question: can you roll with it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I could pull up some women right now that I've talked to about this concept for several months, who women you would say she got far more than me, and they accept it. I've learned this from these women. So ma'am, I'm asking you, if you want these millionaire men, cool, let's roll down there. You don't get strict monogamy.
You're right. In 99.9% of situations, we're not going to do it.
So you're still holding out for the 1%? You still trying to hold out for the 0.1%?
No.
Is it better to get the lifestyle you want and have to share your man, have no man, or have to decrease your lifestyle?
I do feel like it's better to share my man and have my lifestyle and my family. Yes, I would take that over being alone. Come on now.
No, I don't know, because the way you're talking, you want it all.
No, I would settle. If I had to settle, I would settle for my family and my lifestyle with a high...
What would you be settling for? Why would
sharing.
Ma'am, he's the asset, not you. He'd be selling for you. See, that's the women who get with these men, they understand that's the bag.
That's the catch.
But you, and I'm no offense, but what tends to happen with attractive women is you get so much attention, you think that men at this level, and you think you can treat us all the men at the same level. And I'm sitting here talking, I'm like, dear heart, I know the men you're talking about. And they're like, yeah, I'd kick it with her for a little bit. I'd spend 30, 50 on it, and then I'm out. They're not gonna try to manage this. They're not gonna work with you. They're not gonna try to train you up. They're gonna just go ahead and 1099 girlfriend you out. Here you go, baby girl. Here's your severance package. What's your friend's name or your sister? I'm not joking. I'm dead ass serious. I'm dead ass serious. And you can collect Birkin bags and Mitzvahs and all other kind of stuff and Kelly purses and Chanel bags. You can collect all that stuff. But at 30 years old, if you have not secured, well, actually it's 27. If you haven't secured him, you're going to have to start making discounts. So,
And the discount being monogamy?
oh, the $1 million man, you can automatically write that off. You would be better off understanding that at best, you'd be lucky if you could get a man like that to marry you. So that should be where you set your limit. Whatever he does, he marries me, I'm good. Whatever he does, that's fine. That would be a better attitude other than trying to control what he's doing. Because what you've demonstrated here is your tolerance for anything other than that doesn't exist. So it's either that or nothing. You know what's extremely sad? 55-year-old used to be pretty women. And there are a lot of them.
I would take my family and my lifestyle over monogamy.
Oh, that's a better mindset to be in, but then you still got to get him. And what we've shown is you don't know them, so how are you going to get them? They're not even in your social circle. And when I actually start, and here's the funny thing, in these focus groups, and I'm gonna tell you, when I start putting these men on camera and they start telling you themselves, you'll see it. When you start hearing that you're not even in the places where they are, and I'll tell you how I know that, because as soon as you said the age range, you're out.
I feel like high value men most of them are very boring, especially in those professions. They're hanging out in different places. I would have to change where I'm.
Do you feel like they're boring?
I do definitely feel like the professions, they're definitely boring, and they're in different places. So I have to change where I'm going to put myself in those environments. I don't think that they're unattainable. I have to make the changes to go to those rooms.
The men who make millions of dollars have boring lifestyles.
I feel like a majority, they're living a life of peace. They're not out here in clubs and bars. They're living a life of peace.
Folks, I just let that run. I let that run because the arrogance it takes to make that statement is mind-boggling.
You're 45.
Mind-boggling. The men who make millions of dollars have to live a lifestyle of structure. They work a lot. And this is why I want you guys to understand that it doesn't matter from average to over here. They all want everything. You want a millionaire. You want to be a housewife. You want to have a luxe lifestyle. You want monogamy and you want excitement. French Bulldog, Shar-Pei, Yorkie. You're laughing now.
Because I'm saying if I'm giving up the monogamy, what's stopping me from going to those places where that high value man is?
Nothing's stopping you from going there, but why would he pick you?
Because I'm again bringing that peace and that making his life easier.
Ma'am.
So you don't.
Ma'am. No, I don't. No, not you. No, I think you're another Bill. Women like you require a lot of attention, and you're high maintenance. High maintenance is opposite of peace. You're a side chick.
Why would I be high maintenance if I?
Because, man, listen, I'll tell you. You're high maintenance because you require luxury lifestyle. That is, listen, you're high maintenance because you require luxe lifestyle. That means the women who normally get these kind of guys get with these guys when they're in process and they build with them. You want to be standing at the finish line with pom-poms waiting for him to get there. Matter of fact, you don't even want to be in the finish line. You want to be in the executive suite or the box on the yacht, and you just want to show your titties and smile and say, take me. And he's like, all right, I'd fuck you. I do this with you. And we may make some pretty babies. Let me put about 2 or 3 million into this because she is going to go left. Sign this prenup. Because you're getting a prenup. Sign this, and here's your exit clause. Now, because she is going to go left because she requires a luxury lifestyle, you're already going to be a loss leader. And they're going to have other women because you're not in it for him. You're in it for you. That, by definition, is not peace.
So how can I be? I just want to know if I'm a modern day woman with a substantial income, equal or even greater in a sense. How can I not make our life easier in a relationship?
Because you want to be a housewife, your income doesn't matter.
I can pay a light bill. I can cook.
Ma'am, how come there are women who make more money than you who can't get men at their financial level?
I feel like.
Ma'am, I ask you a question. Listen. Stop. Listen. Women, there are women, like you can look in entertainment and see this often. Why are women they want their peers? They'll work, people will make records with them, make movies with them, but they can't marry men at their level or higher. Because those men have options and they want something different. Women who have the bag have to marry down. You want to marry up.
So I bring nothing. So my income. Okay, we'll take away my income. My ability to be a homemaker doesn't count for anything.
I didn't say it doesn't count for anything, but it doesn't count for $1 million. What? Okay, ma'am, let's be reasonable. If your ability to be a homemaker or whatever it is you say you bring to the table was a product, what would differentiate your product from other products on the shelf? Is it the contents? Huh?
The contents. It's vegan. It's not damaged.
It's the packaging, ma'am. You're trading on your packaging more than anything else because I haven't heard much of contents. Because contents don't need to go to therapy because they were egotistical.
But the ability to change and listen to my man in a relationship and allow my man to be that leader that preach, provide, and protect should count for something.
Not millions of dollars. They don't want to. The men that do this don't let you allow nothing. The women come over there with whatever you like. See, you're used to being in control. And you keep leveraging what you have, and they're like, I don't care about that. I'm being honest with you, ma'am. And the thing is, okay, you're not going to be on top. He's in charge. You are secondary. It's about him, not you. And what I'm getting from you is your life is about you.
But my ability to cook for my providing husband or boyfriend or man doesn't count to get up at 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. because he has to be at work at 6.
Ma'am, there are women so what makes your meal better than the meal that the woman who's married to a man making $50,000? What makes your meal better?
Consistency.
Ma'am, she's cooking consistently too.
Consistency, and I feel like the ability to make his life.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Let me ask you a hard question. Okay? Okay. You're familiar with an actress by the name of Gabrielle Sidibe?
I'm not
Familiar with Lizzo? Are you familiar with her?
No.
The musician? Okay. Let's give. If you're an average looking woman, a solid 4 or a 5,
Okay.
would you be making the same demands?
No.
Thank you.
But
Ma'am, if you were a 4 or 5, you would be bringing the same things you're bringing to the table, but you know you could not demand what you're demanding now. That's why I said, if you were a product on the shelf, what substantially differentiates you from other products, women? Is it the contents? You just said no, it's the packaging.
So we'll be direct then. Yes, okay. Feel like I have a little bit of I can ask for what I'm asking for because I'm not a 4 or 5. Let's just go into weight, size, face.
Yeah, you're attractive. You can, but the thing is,
And my ability to cook that same meal and look a certain way. Because let's be real, these high value men do want a woman that they can bring outside and be proud of. You do have to look a certain way. They're not bringing just anybody else.
I really wish I could bring some of the women I've talked to this week and let you stand next to them, because then you'd be like, ooh, shit. Because, because here's the thing. Who are you comparing yourself to? You're comparing yourself to the average woman walking around. And I'm saying that these men don't deal with the average woman. They're dealing with women to where you're the lowest level. Okay, if you're the lowest level, if you're an 8, if you're around Beyonce, there's still Kelly Rowland and Rihanna. Okay. And Beyonce had to put in 7 years to get Jay-Z. The difference is the attitude. And what I'm showing is when you're a pretty woman, far too often you guys trade on your looks and not the substance. And where it shows up is when you start demanding things that only your looks qualify you for. Ma'am, you just said if you were an average looking woman, you wouldn't be asking for what you're asking for, which means internally you don't qualify for it. From a content character, my value female standpoint. So you're doing it on looks. Cool. Don't you think those men up there recognize that she's got the look, but she doesn't have the shit to go the long distance? Let me ask you about when's your last relationship?
My current relationship that I'm in or previous?
Previous relationship.
Previous relationship was a few years.
When was it?
Before the one that I'm in.
And it lasted 3 years?
Yes.
Was he a millionaire?
Yes.
Why didn't he marry you?
Because of my attitude.
Who ended the relationship?
I did.
Why?
I didn't feel like I was in a position to be feminine. I couldn't relax.
I said that on Monday, folks. What you see for a lot of modern women is fear. They can't relax. And I want you to understand that that relationship is an employer. These men run background checks and they look at your last relationship and they say, a millionaire had you and you couldn't act right with him either, huh? And you left him. Okay. Ma'am, what I'm trying to get you to understand is, yes, your looks may put you in a room, but as hard as it may be to sound and hard as it may be to hear, what you said is much more of a fun girl or a side chick, not a wife.
But if I'm able to get into a relationship with a millionaire and not be in fear, and I'm being in my feminine place, why are you shaking your no? I'm in a feminine position.
How long you think, by what age you think that's going to happen?
It happened. It definitely happened. But I was humbled. I just needed a situation where I could relax and trust.
Are you getting married? Are you getting married?
100%. I definitely think that.
How long you guys been together?
4 months. We'll check back in 2 years. And I will send
2 years? 2 years?
I think it would definitely take at least, I think at the 2-year mark I could definitely get engaged. And I'll definitely invite you to my engagement party.
She doesn't know who I am, does she? You've already screwed this for 2 years?
You don't think I could get engaged in 2 years? A man knows if he's going to get to marry you within the first, I think,
Right. And men like that typically move that fast. 2 years is you. Because you're not ready. Because you're not ready. So the point of the matter is, I want you to understand something. I want you just cut your own throat. Because I've said this so long, 6 to 12 months is all it really takes, especially for men who know what they want, men of value in particular. They don't date for that long. That's why the chat room was going crazy. You don't even understand what you just said. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, let her go. And you just said, well, how long does it take? Well, he would know inside of 6 months. Yeah, but you wouldn't be ready for 2 years. So a millionaire who's ready to go as a high value man has to wait on you for 2 years to get ready. Woo!
Definitely not. If my boyfriend asks me to get married in 6 months, 8 months, I'm saying yes, and I'll still extend the invite directly to you.
Look, I'm not speaking. I'm not going to say. Look, I don't. If you're with somebody, man. But I'm telling you right now, what I'm gathering from you is you know yourself. If he asks you, yes. If he asks you to marry him, good luck with that. Because you're not ready. Because, ma'am, be realistic. If you can make it, you can lose it. And if he doesn't have the money, you're gone. You don't lie, ma'am. If he doesn't have it, you're gone. That's what this entire conversation has proved. If you don't have the Lux lifestyle, you're gone. Especially if you're younger. Ma'am, if he loses this money in the next 5 years, you're gone, because women like you would be like, well, shit, I have a few more minutes left on the shot clock. Let me go try to find another millionaire. Ma'am, why do you think I can do this? Because I talk to women like you every day.
Why would I, and let's just be realistic, get married in 12 months, he falls off in 3 years. Why am I not able to pick, I've made millions, so why would I not be able to sustain our lifestyle at that level and still have a successful relationship?
Because you wouldn't have respect for him. Because, excuse me, ma'am, you didn't have respect for the millionaire who was already paying for you years ago. Women, excuse me, you asked, hypergamy. You are extreme hypergamous. Women do not typically have respect for men they got to pay for. Is this person older?
Yes.
So you'd be paying for an older man to raise his kids, and you'd be respecting him and be feminine. You couldn't be feminine when you were younger with a millionaire. Guys, you can learn a lot from this, because this is what I mean. It's the modern woman. And the point is, you women, you have so little value in who we are as men. Go back 20 minutes ago. If I asked you to write out in detail who this man was, that piece of paper would damn near be blank. But if I ask you to write out your lifestyle, you'd write War and Peace. The man is interchangeable. As long as he has the lifestyle and can keep you entertained, but he has to be monogamous. But that's not his job. Your job is to be on his program. Your job is to keep him entertained. Your job is to stay his wife. And that's why I'm like, guys, you can learn a lot from this call. Because if you end up having to pay the bills, that means you're not able to raise your children, and you're going to resent him for the fact that you can't be doing what you really want to do. Because you want to do what you want to do. Listen. You mean it? If you think I believe that you would go back and work 8, 10, 12 hours to make millions of dollars and be happy with dudes sitting up there at home with the kids, it doesn't work, ma'am. Ma'am, it does. You asked a question. If a man is making less than you, your respect is going to go down. The clock, gentlemen, understand something. This is why I tell you to make more than your woman. Because when there is a clock, when he stops making more money than her, that motherfucking clock starts ticking. The countdown to her being out. And one thing, ma'am, you would be out. You would be out. And that's not, and because that's what the world has told you ladies to do. If a man can't provide this, because the man himself, you ain't said nothing about who this man is, his character. It's been about the money and the lifestyle. Cool. That's why I said side chick. But a man, if he has any sense, he has to understand that you need to understand who this man is from a character standpoint and what he has to deal with. All we've talked about is you. You. And what I'm saying is this ain't too far off from what you described in a 3-year relationship.
But I'm bringing peace and making his life easier. So if he falls off my...
Who gets to determine whether or not you're bringing peace?
His attitude. When he doesn't
Who gets to determine whether or not you're bringing peace?
his attitude, he decides that.
Right. Okay, so I need you to stop. The guy you were with for 3 years. If I asked him right now, hey man, did you experience her as a peaceful woman? He'd say what?
He would say yes. He would call me paranoid. He would say she's paranoid.
Right. You weren't submissive, but you were peaceful.
I was peaceful, but I wasn't allowing him to be a man. I was not allowing him to...
That's not peaceful.
I was scared.
I don't care. The outcome, man, whatever your motives were, the outcome is whatever it wasn't peaceful. And that's why I said, who gets to determine? The man does. And you're not listening.
So you don't think as a man he should have made me feel safe?
Oh, Jesus.
In any way, shape, or form? You don't think it should be...
A millionaire make you feel, excuse me. No. And that's the problem. That's what that woman said last time on Instagram. Modern women have been told that a man owes you everything, all of him, and he's supposed to make you happy, feel safe, and that ain't it. Here's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to make him feel. Listen, man, this is a masculine attitude. You want a wife.
No, but I did learn from my mistakes.
Okay.
And that's what therapy is
Uh-huh. Well, if this has been a practice test, you need to go back to therapy.
for. There on Tuesday.
Ma'am, you said it. If you didn't have the packaging, you wouldn't be asking for what you're asking for.
But again, like at least I'm to a point where I have learned from my mistakes and I'm able to see...
Why does a man in the top 1/10 of 1% have to accept an at least time?
He doesn't.
Exactly, he doesn't. Thank you. He doesn't. That's my point, ma'am. That's my point. That is my point. As an 8, you have to compete with 9s, 10s, and adjustable 6s and 6s. All of those women who bring what you bring, many that bring more, and several of them are not at least time. Many of them have been raised to be the support system. Many of them have been told by their mothers, oh yeah, you get this man, yeah, girl, yeah, you get the name on the insurance, on the da-da-da-da-da, but he's going to have a woman and a mistress and an executive assistant. You got 4 women you got to deal with to manage that one man, and you better be happy with it. Don't call me talking about you mad and you want to come home. I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to hang up on you and tell you to go bring my grandbabies to me. It ain't about you.
But why can't I help that $1 million man and be loyal and be, the housekeeper, the homekeeper?
What's your job?
My job is from a laptop. I
No, what's your job as a wife?
My job as a wife is to take care of the home, to clean, cook, and
So what do you need to help him with?
help him with his daily to-dos. Like, if his laundry's not done, if his breakfast is not ready, like his daily to-dos.
That's not helping him. That's just doing your job.
But I feel like as a wife, I'm making his day-to-day.
Ma'am, you said how come you can't help him? Help him by doing what, your job?
I fill in the blanks. I fill in where he lacks. So what he needs in that situation, that $1 million man, what he needs from me, that's where I go in and I do what I'm asked.
And therein lies a rub. Say that last sentence.
I do what I'm asked.
Right. You have to be asked. The women who marry these men are proactive. They already know what to do.
Everything I know what to do, you're saying wasn't doing anything.
It wasn't. That's why you're not married to this day. Guess what? Because you weren't trained to be a traditional wife. You're trained to be a modern woman. That's why you said if I didn't look the way I did, if I had a different packaging, I couldn't ask for this. You can go back and listen to this yourself, and you need to pay me. Fuck your therapist. Because I've given you more to think about than anybody's couch would, because I talk to women like you daily. And I'm going to say this, and I don't mean any disrespect. You're not special. He is. Beauty is common. 1% men aren't. And what I'm saying is you're competing with women who don't have to be told what to do. They already know what to do, and they're being proactive. They say, you're a cardiologist, you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're this, you're that. You know, like, I'll give you an example. I spent my birthday with a high-value man and his fiance that he met in my group. She shot her shot, and she was a proactive solution to him, so much so that he's actually putting her into law school so she can go work for his practice. That's how that works. Not just not be pretty and be willing to do if you feel like it, but do what you've been trained how to do, taught how to do, and then study your man enough to know what needs to be done without being asked. You want a good example of what we're talking about? You ever watch Iron Man?
Yes.
Pepper fucking Potts.
Yes.
That ain't what I'm talking to right now, is it? I'm talking to the woman at the beginning. The woman that was the reporter.
I definitely feel like I can be the Pepper Potts.
Sure you can, but it's not, but here's the thing. It's not a matter if you can be, it's how long would it take?
I have to be proactive. I have one question though. Why can't a self woman work just like the man, and why can't I bring anything to the table?
Who's gonna raise your kids?
I can't vote from the computer at all. Like, it's not even a possibility in that type of relationship. Like, a high value man, there's no possible way for a woman to.
What's the more important job, man? Okay, think about what you just asked. Why can't I work? What is more valuable to that man?
Raising our children.
Why are you still trying to go to work? Because that's what makes me feel valuable. Because it gives me input in control and power.
I just want to be able to do for my $1 million man the way that he does for me to some level.
And I ask you, what is important to him?
What's important to him is,
Raising good kids is what's important to him. Not $100,000 more. See, the kind of man you're talking about, say, fuck the money you're gonna make, I'll go make another 150, 200, 500, another million. Raise my children correctly. Give me my legacy. I'll make the money. You're still trying to be the husband.
I just want to know why I'm not able to in modern society. But you're right.
Why do you want to?
I just would like to try to make his life easier in any way, shape, or form. Like, why is that?
What makes you think money is gonna, if he's making the ends of meet like a motherfucker, why does he need you for that for?
You're right. I'm just raising the kids.
That's my point. And you would be a better fit with the $80,000 a year guy. But you wouldn't respect him.
There would be a power problem.
You wouldn't respect him.
Be like me.
But I want you to ask.
Proactive though, being proactive though, in the right room, I can make $1 million man's life easier and raise our children.
Okay. Today you're a side chick, a mistress, a fun girl. Ma'am, I'm not going to change that because your attitude is not appropriate for what these men want. It's not whether or not you can be. It's not whether or not. See, the fact that you're still not. Okay, what if I'm right?
I definitely feel like in a lot of situations you are right. I just would like to know why $1 million man wouldn't want some type of anything. Like, why is there no possible way to do just even 70-30? Like, like even just a 70-30, I raised the children and maybe I paid for a birthday.
You ready? You ready? You ready? Because it's you that values the money. It's you that values the lifestyle. The men who make this kind of money don't even spend money on themselves. They spend money on their kids, on their women. They walk around try to get them to buy something for them. The only way I can get guys like this to buy something is I got to get their wife to get it for them because they make enough. You're trying to give him value the way he gives you value instead of being feminine and submissive and pay him that way. You're trying to pay him in a masculine provider way.
So
Your revenue is femininity and submission, the same thing you didn't give the first millionaire. You're trying to give a millionaire money. What the fuck? That's like trying to give a cow beef.
his love language was gifts. That's what
Then suck his, ooh, Jesus.
told me that. If we're being real, he said it.
Then his love language is gifts. Then dress up like a French maid. Did he say his love language is expensive gifts?
He liked gifts. He liked to be given gifts. Like,
Okay, but did you give him the gift of submission? That's the one motherfucking thing he wanted. You're the mother, you're the parent that says, I want a bicycle, I want a bicycle, I really want this bicycle, I want a bicycle. And you're the mother that buys the books, the clothes, the Play-Doh, the G.I. Joe, the video game and everything else. You buy everything else. And then the kid is sitting there like, ooh, all that costs like 10 bicycles. I gotta have a bicycle. And they finally grow up and be like, Mama, I love you, appreciate it. And you know I appreciate it, but when I was 10, I really wanted this Green Lantern bicycle. And you bought all this other stuff and I love it. But why didn't you take that money and just buy the bicycle?
that's why I learned from my mistakes.
No, you got to answer the question. I didn't get you the bicycle because I wanted to see you with other things. I wanted to see you get what I wanted to give you. It's control. And this is not attractive. It makes good sex. It makes great sex. It makes really, really good sex. That's why you find these men who have really pretty side chicks. You know, I think you more or less, I don't think you're a housewife. Maybe when you grow up, you'll be an executive wife. Because you have to have some power. You have to have some sort of power. Huh?
I definitely feel like once I have a child, I definitely will.
Will you have a nanny?
No.
Will you have a maid?
No.
An au pair?
An oh what?
An au pair.
What is that?
Somebody to help with the kids.
No, I'm gonna take care
Do you
of
have any pets?
We'll have maybe a dog.
Do you have any pets?
No.
Are you an only child?
No.
Have you ever babysat?
Yes.
What's the longest you've ever been with a 6 to 1 year old?
I was an overnight nanny for years, so for infants under the age of 2.
Okay. Maybe. You know, when women get pregnant, maternal instinct does happen. But I think, basically, man, you're going to get bored. You need to be in the mix.
Bored with my child?
You get bored, period. You get bored just on a Tuesday.
But I feel like as a mother, I don't have children, so I can't speak to the degree I want, but I just feel like when that opportunity is there and I have a child, I don't think...
That's fine, but those children will eventually grow up to not need you to helicopter. They will eventually grow up to not need you to helicopter them. Then what does life look like?
Life looks like me and my $1 million husband traveling the world. Still.
No. Your $1 million, oh Jesus, your $1 million fucking dollar husband has to work because he does it boring. Like, she don't even get it. What she doesn't get is you go, $1 million man marries you. You have his 3 kids. Then his last child is 7 years old. The oldest is 10. They don't need to be tender-yeared anymore. Now you got kids, whether they're homeschooled or going to private school, they're not home every day. You've been out of the workforce. Your desire to go make money doesn't fulfill you and make you feel like you're contributing. What do you think? All of a sudden now the kids we're going to just travel? No, those kids, you can't travel until those kids are out.
Okay, so my children are now.
But what are you going to do between the years of 7 and 18?
PTA meetings.
Right.
Meetings.
Remember, go back about 40 minutes ago when we talked about boring. And see, that's the thing. Men who make a lot of money have to live structured, consistent lives, which are boring. You like to be in the mix, man. That's why, and this is why we keep coming back to this money thing and this and that. We spent a lot of time here, and this has been informative, but I need you to understand that even though I've given her a lot, she's still going to do what she thinks is right, which is fine. But I'm going to tell you, it's the mindset. Because here's the thing. You got to ask yourself a question. If you get it in the room with these guys, and there are a finite amount of them, if you don't get them, then what? If you don't get a millionaire, then what?
Then I would have to start taking discounts. That's the inevitable.
And how much of a discount? Right. So, at what age is that going to happen?
I would say 29.
What is the price going to be then?
85,000, I guess.
Oh, so you can ask for $1 million at 27, but at 29 it's going to drop to 85,000.
You're making me feel like my biological clock is ticking.
Oh, I didn't do that. That's your creator. I didn't do that. That's the creator.
But I mean, I feel like at 29, if I'm not married by then yes, I would have to start understanding. Okay, I'm looking for a $1 million man, and I haven't gotten one. What do I need to change about myself to get these men? And then again, like I'm older now, so
Okay, I got a couple more questions though. What are you prepared to put up with? Because you say monogamy, you didn't really want that, but what are you willing to put up with for this? Because what else are you willing to put up with?
long work hours.
Oh, that's standard.
So what is considered not standard for me to be able to?
No, whatever the man has to do to make money, he has to continue to do that. But what I'm asking is, what are you willing to put up with? If he is, like I said, not having monogamy, are you willing to gladly accept that?
You already put me in the scenario. Yes,
I'm not. I want to get it on the record. Are you willing to gladly accept it?
I don't think gladly.
Okay. If it's begrudging, then he's going to be passive aggressive. That's going to cause problems. That's why I'm like, if you want a man up here, you better understand. It'll be better to understand this is likely what it's going to come with. And you might as well just be glad and accept. It's kind of like getting a shot.
Okay, so for this situation, yes, we would gladly.
Well, okay, but that's only one thing. Then what else?
I need to know what else is the standard discounts that we're.
What else are you willing to put up with this man? Because he comes himself. What if he is, how tall are you?
I'm 4'11".
Okay. What if he's has a dad bod?
A dad bod?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like that's something that can be changed, so that's not.
No, it's not changing. That's what he has. It's not. No, we're not going to change.
For the rest of his life.
Yep, and it's only going to get older.
Then yes, that's something I'm willing to put up with.
Okay. Well, dad bod. What about if he starts to lose his hair?
That's definitely something I'm willing to put up with.
What about if you really can't have orgasms that frequently with sex? And we're talking less than 5% of the time. How about this? When you have sex, you got to actually pleasure yourself.
Consistently?
Oh yes, consistently. And for an audience who thinks I'm joking, trust me, I'm asking these questions because, go ahead. Sex is about 15 minutes and it's about him.
That one's gonna be harder.
Okay. So you can't tolerate, so you need to have a good sex life?
I would say above average.
What if you got a little Johnson?
It's not the
Women say that shit all the time, and then dudes with little dicks will tell you that's not true. Yeah, I can stop this bullshit. Bottom line is, I want you to understand, we've talked about his money. We haven't even talked about the man. What does he have? Does he have to look? Does he have to be very attractive? Or can he be average looking?
He can be average.
Like CeeLo Green.
Yes.
All right, cool. And he can still have a mistress and mistress. And all these things compound, man, because I ask you, what else are you willing to accept? Yeah, see, man, see, what I'm trying to get you to understand is what else. See, most women think I'll accept that, but that's just one thing. Life goes on.
I don't know if I'm accepting a public mistress.
Sure.
Public?
You would know about it, not necessarily public, but you would know. But it's not like he'd throw it in your face and try to humiliate you. That you don't have to accept that. It comes with rules.
Public humiliation.
I said it does not. I just said that that's not good for his brand. So no public humiliation, but you would know. You'd have her phone number, email address, everything else. You'd actually can call him. He's over there every Wednesday night. You know.
So at this point, we have a mutual understanding. So yes.
This is how it happens, man. And see, what I'm saying is women who have the kind of lifestyles you're talking about, know it comes with a man who has to work a certain way, do a certain thing, and he's not going to get everything from you. And your job, and so I think it's interesting that women want everything from this man. It's like, you not realize that these men are going to have other interests, and a lot of these women aren't getting the best sex. They're getting average sex, if at all. Maybe you don't get it as often. Are you happy with having a relationship with his money and not the man? Because more often than not, he ain't going to be around.
I appreciate a man that is providing for us. So yes.
Okay. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is you got to think about the man and the environment that comes with it. Men who make a lot of money work long hours. They got a lot of commitments. They got a lot of responsibilities. They have a lot, and as a woman, the way you started this conversation is you got a lot of demands for a man. I'm like, then you need to have a man that's around average. You can't be talking about a man up here. You can't make all those demands of that guy. Because he'll just find the women who already understand that. All right, man. And whoever you're in a relationship with, man.
Thank you so much for having me on. I feel like I went.
Yeah, send me a cash out my money.
I'm gonna send you a candle. Don't worry.
No. I want no candle. Fuck candles. I buy my own candles. Send my money. Send my money. Send my goddamn money. I don't want no candle. I want my money. Fuck all that. You can play that cute girl shit with your dude. I want my money. All right. Okay, folks, whether you like guys understand it or not, that call had a lot in it. And the overall notion is that what women are willing to accept versus what they demand. Understand that as extreme as it may sound to us as men, most women's desires are ravenous. I mean, not bottomless, infinite. All right, you're not on camera, so bounce off. All right, this person popped in. That's why I put her out of there. All right, millionaire. The sad part is 80 years ago, she'd have been married to a bus driver. Back in the silent generation, she'd have been married to a bus driver, a guy who worked at the plant. But today, modern women believe beauty is worth millions. You can demand, that's why I said top 20, top 10% of men, but 1%, absolutely not. Not unless he doesn't know what he got. So, all right, let's bring some more folks in here. She's back. Your audio is not connected, ma'am. Let's see. Boy, oh boy. Okay, hello, how are you? I can't hear you. How are you? Yeah, your audio is not registering. So now let's ask to unmute there. Unmute yourself. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can now. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. How old are you?
I am 34.
All right. Thank you for waiting. That conversation was longer than I expected to, but it actually kind of necessary. All right. So, are you married or are you single?
I am married.
Okay. God, are you married women? How long you been married?
I've been married, I think 7 years.
Do you have a question or did you want to comment on the subject?
No, I wanted to comment on the subject.
Go ahead.
I've been listening, and so far none of the women have touched on anything that actually matters. When you brought up the subject, I actually went and spoke to my husband because I'm like, what did I have a price? I don't remember having a price. And honestly, I didn't. What my price was his values, his integrity, his morals, his plans for the future. And once he had a conversation with me about that as we were dating, I was all in. I never told this man he needed to make six figures or I required him to do X, Y, and Z. I trusted that wherever he was going to lead me, I was going to be safe and he was a good man. That's what mattered. Nothing else mattered. And all I've heard is that I need you to make more money than me. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. But for me, I was like, I need to know the kind of human being you are. And I need to know what our children are going to be like. That's what I need to know. That's what's important to me. I want to raise your children. I want to do all these things that impact our family, but I can't do that not knowing where your long term is. I'm a woman. I only see 3 steps ahead. You see 7. Why would I set an expectation I don't even understand? Why would I do that?
This is why you're a wife. And see, whether it's a man of God, the men that I know who were married, especially when they got married while they were in process and they became very successful, wives got everything because you invested up front. What you just said is what I was trying to get that last woman to understand. That's the difference between a wife and a modern woman. And if your husband, I don't know, if he developed something and became a millionaire, you'd be a millionaire wife now.
Yes.
You should not have to charge for submission. That's the ultimate point. But that's what you've seen is women are charging for it, but they don't know how to price it because it's not good faith. It's not about the man. It's not about the character. It's about the lifestyle they want to live, and the man is interchangeable. So that you couldn't have 2 better back-to-back calls. Thank you for calling back in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye. To the woman on Instagram, that was the answer. That's the answer right there. You judge a man based upon his character, and you get him in process, and whatever he gets, you get. But if you just want to wait for a man to be at the finish line, then you are a product on the shelf. And if it's about money, that's why that call went so long. Did you guys see anything that changed your guys' mind on the fact that she was going to pick a man based upon the content of his character or the contents of his wallet? And that's what far too many women do today. They judge a man based on his ability to make money. And I'm saying if that's the case, then how much do you charge? Hello, you need to unmute yourself.
I believe I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can't see you though.
Okay, hold on one second.
I see you over on Zoom. Just a second.
Is that better?
I can see you now. Were you here earlier?
I was not. No, this is my first time coming
Okay. Are you single or are you married?
I am single and dating.
Okay. Any children?
Yes,
How many?
I have one. I have a 7-month-old.
7 month old. And who are you with his father?
I am, yes.
All right. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I try to stay. I try to stay out of people's existing relationships, especially when they are kids. I try to respect the existing relationship. So, hope y'all get married. Finish the family y'all started. That's what we need. All right.
I respect a lot of what you say, though. I'm not.
Oh, damn! I hit the wrong button. Sorry, man. All right. Yeah, guys, I try to respect relationships when women are actively declared. You got a one man. You should be listening to your man, not me. Unmute yourself. Hello.
Hello.
How old are you?
Me?
Yes. How old are you? Yes.
I'm 28 now.
Have you been on here before?
Yes, I have.
Uh-huh. What's the update?
I'm learning to be a submissive wife and to know that my husband,
Wife?
yeah, to
You're
be
married?
I'm the one who was like, I'm married and I want
You're
it.
the one who was trying to get rid of your husband to go back to the other high value man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a good memory. Did your husband see that show?
Yes, he did.
What was the conversation?
He said, it's like, how can you embarrass me? Do you want to be with me? And do I make you happy? Do I give you enough? And he is enough. It's just I didn't realize that.
Okay. Um, what did you say to him?
I said I was thinking about my ex because he is high value and he was just closer to age. But with going on to that story, my husband, he intervened from me marrying my ex. So it was like something to say, I guess he won to get me. So I'm just gonna
Oh,
stick with.
Um, since our conversation, have you had any therapy?
Yeah, I am in therapy every month.
Okay.
So I do that. It's just what I need to do is I just have to stick with one thing and stick with one person because I feel like my energy when I do meet men, that it's just a different way. I don't think my beauty gets that
Well,
much attention, but
it
it's
doesn't. It doesn't matter what attention you get from other men, ma'am. You're married.
yeah, I am married. Yes, I am married. Like, I'm not in a box. Like I still have to talk to people as for business.
But that's not attraction.
But if you're a salesperson, like there's something that has to be first being, oh, I want to buy it and it has
When I
to
spend
attract.
year, come on now. Who are you talking to? I spend. Okay. Why do you need to be appealing to other men physically?
No, I don't. I do not. I do not. I do
Well,
not at all.
it's coming across that you don't get attention from other men or this or that. And honestly, if you're a salesperson, then, you know, I get the point of wanting to build rapport, but that's not
Yeah.
important. That's why I'm trying to understand because you're back with your husband, or you guys didn't divorce, and he's older than you, right?
Yes.
Do you have any kids?
Yes. We have a child together.
How many years difference between you two?
26 years.
So my question is, how have you made up? How have you made it up to him?
We stayed together.
You made, no, how have you made? What happened was pretty bad, ma'am.
It wasn't well, okay, it was bad. I just talked to him about it. It was, as I said, I was thinking about
Right, and I'm asking you, how have you made it up to him? How have you balanced that out?
I
You
I
stayed?
I stayed. Yes, I stayed. I've just been more focused on us, just not been really putting too much effort
Do you,
into.
do you think if your husband hurt you, broke your heart, embarrassed you, did something along those lines, do you think he would have to just apologize or would he have to actually make it up?
Both.
Okay.
You would have
So
to
like
do
when a
both.
man, like you got the old school thing in the movie, you forgot the anniversary, you forgot the birthday. That's why you're in the florist. You had to buy a
Yep.
gift to make it up. All right. What have you, that's what I'm trying to hear. And
Well,
I haven't heard that
yeah,
from
I
you.
have.
Man.
I bought my husband a new phone. I got us all new phones. I've been like following his lead. I've been going for events like dancing together. I've been keeping us busy. Like any of our spare time, I will
I'm
take him to
asking,
fishing.
okay. Um,
I gave like we have more intimacy, things like that. We're more intimate.
all right. And I think it should match what I remember that to be. I'm gonna make a suggestion, ma'am, that you sound like you have a decent man.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
You're fortunate that you came home and the locks weren't changed. Because if you were mine, the locks would have been changed and you'd have been getting served. So you need to understand how fortunate you are and stop worrying about getting other men's attention and recognize that you are fortunate to still be married. And treat that man with respect because you embarrassed yourself and him in front of the world. And life happens. But what I'm saying is focus on your man and let him focus on you instead of you focusing on you. Make him your focus. And see if I think that'll be a better outcome for you both. Yeah, so I'm glad he decided to stay, but you would have to make that up. What I'm hearing, but you're not my wife, you're his wife.
Well, what can I do to make it up?
Well, you need to ask. I don't know, and I don't want to get there, but I just want you to understand that if your man did something to you, he'd have to do more than apologize. He'd have to pay his debt to society, or pay. It has to match. You know, the punishment has to match the crime. The apology has to match the infraction. And what you said, ma'am, was, I mean, it's still up. It's still live. So, and what I'm hearing is I bought him a phone. I bought us phones. Okay, then he ain't got nothing.
I got him a new phone.
Ma'am, it's beyond phones. You didn't hurt his pride. You didn't hurt his phone. You hit his ego and his pride in public. And that's what you're not understanding. So my point is talk to your man, but understand that while y'all are together, because just put your marriage and your man first. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, go in the comment section on those videos. None of them men was trying to be your husband. So I mean, just fix it. That's all I'm saying. Just fix it. All right, man. Glad that y'all together. Bye bye. You know, man, I'm gonna tell the audience, man. Between a man and a woman, there's always some sort of special understanding. You know, it always happens, man. So yeah. If y'all don't remember that video. Ooh. So, all right. This is a good concept. Gentlemen, when a woman asks you, what do you do for a living? How much do you make? Ask her. Here are the questions. How much you charge for submission? How much you charge for that? What? How much I charge? Yeah, how much your submission costs? And just let them tell you, how much does your submission cost? And let them tell you. Don't let them beat around the bush. How much does it cost annually? Because that's what you need to pay. How much do you charge for submission? How did you set your price? What is your submission worth on the open market? And when does it go on sale? Why is this important? Men, we got to start making women qualify for us. Today, so many women think that they qualify just because they show up. That's why, what do I bring to the table? I am the table. What the hell? Not over here. More than that, I am the table. Bring in a couple more people from over here. I am the table. Huh. And I think it's a fair question. Submission cost, how'd you set your price? What's it worth on the open market? When does it go on sale? And then ask if you want to pay for that much for it. Ladies, especially for women who want to charge $100,000, and I'm going to be honest, we talk $10,000 a month, but if the truth of the matter is women really want men making close to $300,000 or more. Go back over the last 2 years. How many women, when they get down into the minutia, can really say it's $100,000? They want 2-3 kids and not to have to work to pay anything substantial. All right, well, that means not $100,000. That $100,000 is only for them. A woman making $100,000. So if you're a $300,000 a year man and you're not getting submission and femininity and all this other stuff, you're getting taken to the bank. I think it was a good conversation though. Oh, wait a second. Y'all are vicious, man. Y'all are vicious. Let me see 2 more people on Instagram. Oh, she was on here the other night. Unruly deep. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hello. Oh, you bounced off last night, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
She might cry again, but.
Right. So you have 2 children, right?
Yes.
2 children, and you didn't understand. You weren't really cool with the concept of sharing so much. But are you?
No. I actually am pretty cool with the concept
Okay.
of sharing.
You're unmarried though, right?
I'm not married. Both of my children have the same father.
Okay. So how much are you going to charge for your submission?
How much will I charge for my submission?
Annually, yep.
I think that I really think that I'm just naturally submissive, and I do think that I am submissive in relationships, and I do think I was submissive for my ex-boyfriend, my children's father.
Okay.
When I was 7 months pregnant with our second kid, he told me he was going on vacation. I said, "With who, your little girlfriend?" And he said, "Yup." And then he moved out and moved in with her. So my question for you is like, what's the next step for me here? Like,
Well, how old is your youngest?
my youngest is a year old now.
How old is the oldest?
He is 5.
There's a school of thought that says you don't get any higher than your baby daddy.
Right.
Okay, so
Right. And then, yesterday you were saying, like, because my outlook is kind of like, okay, just give up then, I could do the single, independent woman thing, right? But then what am I doing to my children when I choose that lifestyle? It's like you said yesterday, like,
but the thing is, what's next? As far as a relationship, what do you want?
See, that I'm not really sure about that either, because I don't know what, that obviously damaged a lot of my trust and my ability to submit. I've been
So you don't know. Okay, this is the unfortunate. So maybe it is. Here's the thing: you got to know what you want. Not in fear, but what do you want? Do you want to be married? Do you want just to have a casual relationship? What is it that you want? You got to start somewhere.
Well, my mom was never married, so I never had that kind of relationship model to me, which I think also definitely like impacted.
So what I'm hearing so far, ma'am, is you didn't require marriage to have your two kids, and you didn't require much from the man. He was able to pretty much do and come as he wants. Okay. What value in a relationship would you have time to bring to a man today?
Right. That's, with a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old, sex.
Yeah, that's about it. Sexual relationship, sexual casual relationship. I mean, I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm looking at it from the man's standpoint. Any man who's dealing with you would have to deal with you after your kids are asleep.
Right.
Okay, and all right, but then after your youngest is school age, this is why I think therapy is so important, because when you ladies get in positions right now, you're in a position now to where there are not many options, and they're not all good. So don't make no more babies, though. I'll tell you that much. Don't make no more babies. So, but at a 1-year-old, yeah, you got a lot of focus. Take about 6 to 12 months in therapy and come out of it better in 6 to 12 months, to where whatever you decide, you'll at least have a better mind state about it, because all the choices right now aren't that good. All right, ma'am, have a good one. Bye-bye. Yeah, what we're doing right now, 12:30. Yeah, that one call took a long time. They're like, go ahead and move on past her. Guys, that call is going to be probably the call of the century. Because she was sweet. She was cute. Hell, I'd hit it. Hey, but the thing is, I wouldn't tolerate a lot of that. How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, how are you? Oh, we got 3 people on. So the woman up top, how are you?
Yeah.
Good. How old are you?
I'm doing great. I can't believe I got married.
How old are you?
I am 31 years old.
Okay, and ma'am, how old are you?
I'm 45.
Are you Diva?
Yes.
You're 45. Are either one of you married?
No.
Are you married, ma'am?
This is my first one.
Yeah.
No, I'm not married.
All right. So the question on the table is, how much do you charge for submission? How much does a man need to make to afford you annually? That's your submission.
You know what? You can go.
Diva, go ahead.
For me, 0, because I don't value a man for any of that. And a lot of men I've met, they say to me, why do I need a man? And I say, I need a man, the essence of a man, to have the opposite sex to talk to and be around and everything. But it's been hard dating, because a lot of them, they look at me and what I've accomplished, and they're like,
What is it? Hold on. Now you're about to kind of start ramp. The question I asked is, in order for a man to get submission out of you, you say he doesn't have to make $1.
no.
Okay. I'm gonna come back to you on this one. Ma'am, what about you?
Honestly, in order for a man to get submission from me, he doesn't really have to be valued as far as courtesy. But in order to get submission from me, he needs to be a man that knows how to lead and be able to make me feel protected.
Do you and you don't have children? You do have children?
I have one child.
Okay. Have you been submissive in your relationships?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've been very submissive. Some people would kind of call me quite passive, too submissive, but I'm just not like an argumentative.
So why did you and your child's father not marry?
You know what?
So did he leave you, or did you leave him?
We didn't leave each other. We're actually still together right now.
Okay.
But right now, I think because as a child,
Hold on. You're in a relationship right now with your child's father.
yes.
How long you been together?
How long have we been together? We got together when I was 21 years old.
I don't know how old you are. So how old y'all? Just give me the several years.
Almost 10 years.
All right. So that's damn near married. Without the marriage. So I try to leave women who are in long-term relationships and marriages out of these conversations because this is more for women who are on the market.
That's what I'm allowed with.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Diva, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
You were saying the kind of men you meet, what?
A lot of them, I don't know, they're like, you don't need a, they tell me I don't need a man. And I said, but I do need a man. I love being in a relationship with a man because I love the essence of a man.
When was the last time you were in a relationship?
Pardon?
When was the last time you were in a relationship?
More than 5 years.
Last time, over 5 years ago?
Yes.
And you have children again? Yes, no?
No. No.
Okay. Over 5 years ago. And what's the longest relationship you've ever been in?
20-something years. But I migrated from my country where I was
Were you married?
No, I wasn't. I may have been, but I migrated, so.
So you were, I don't understand. You were with a man for 20 years, but you weren't married.
No. It was a relationship where I migrated, so I was not there, but we had a relationship for that long.
Were you long distance or you guys in the same, you might, it's just also, huh?
And we were long distance, but I moved off because,
So that's not a relationship.
yeah.
And you were doing that for 20 years? You were doing a long distance relationship for 20 years?
No. It was not long distance that whole time, but it became long distance when I migrated.
And how long were you in a relationship before you migrated?
Like maybe 5, 6, 7 years.
So, ma'am, after 20 years, you spent more than 10, 15 of them away.
Yeah.
So, again, you weren't in a relationship.
I guess not. Yeah, no.
Because the truth is simple, and you ladies have some of the most. I don't understand why you ladies just don't make relations. Why just don't get a man?
Because that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to get a man, right?
Yes, you're supposed to be a wife and to be found. Yep. You're not supposed to. What you're not supposed to do is what you did.
Well,
You're not supposed. Nope. You're not supposed to be talking about I'm with somebody for 5, 6, 7 years. We ain't married. Then I'm gonna migrate. We ain't gonna do this for a distance for 15 years. Then I ain't gonna be nobody for 5 years. That means you ain't been in a relationship substantially for a long period of time.
right.
And that means you're really not gonna be fit for being in with anybody.
But let me tell you too. But during the time I've been away, we had the conversation. I said, this situation doesn't work. So you should date, and I'm gonna date. But while I've been here dating, a lot of men that I've met, they say to me, "You tell me I don't need a man because I have accomplished so much."
What kind of men are you talking about?
Regular man.
Okay, and what do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
Right. Do the men that you're talking about make more money than you?
Some of them yes, and some of them no. So I'm not that kind of girl who's like, oh, you need to make $1 million because I'm like you. I believe that women, we should find somebody you're compatible with, and the both of you work.
What age you plan on doing that?
Pardon?
What age you plan on doing that by?
Well, you said I should get a dog, so.
Yep. Every bit. Yep. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, what I'm hearing is still modern woman.
It's what?
It's still some version of modern woman. Because you're 45.
Yeah.
At almost 50 years old, you should be somebody's grandma by now. Should be already in a relationship and getting ready for AARP and picking out your tombstone.
Yeah.
But now you're still dating. I'm like 50-year-old women dating. And what are we out doing? You are dating from not choosing or not being in committed relationships in your youth. And this is why I made that broadcast. Generation X women are going to have to come to peace with, you didn't do it the right way or get it in your youth. What's the rest of life? What are you waiting for?
But let me tell you, you're right. I listened to you before, and you said that a lot of our parents, our moms, did not treat us.
I know, but we don't need all that no more at our age. All that who shot John and why it is, we passed all that. It's about getting 2x2 and getting on the fucking ark, or go sit down somewhere and be Sister Robinson, the old unmarried spinster who smelled like mothballs, not dating.
Well, there are not enough men out there to
Then die alone. Share one.
But you tell me, why aren't there enough men out there that even not your one percenters, the rest of them also are very hard to they don't want to commit, they don't want to date, they don't want to make it.
They don't have to.
What?
They don't have to commit to you.
Why not?
Because you're old. No, they don't have to. They don't have to. You listen. They don't have to. Why does a man have to commit to an older woman?
We're the same age.
So what? I can get a younger woman. You can't get a better man.
So the problem is not me.
No, the problem is yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. This is what I want you guys to understand. These Generation X women still want to try to demand monogamy. There are more Generation X women. There are 600,000 more of you than us. Every one of you won't have a man. There are not enough men to go around of any race. It's not just black men. You're going to have to share a man or die alone. You're all going to have to share. It's all going to have to share. Just like when you were a kid. When you were a kid, if there's one bed, you got to share that motherfucker or sleep on the floor. There ain't enough beds.
So we can share. Monogamy, that's fine. But even then, they still don't want to commit.
They don't have to commit.
So what do they want? What do you all want then? Maybe that's what you tell them.
What we want, we didn't get. We wanted women like you to behave in your youth and then be our wives and make our babies when we were young. You didn't do that. So now you get what's left. But the problem is we ain't complaining about it. We're not. Who's complaining about relationships today? It's not Generation X men. It's y'all.
But you're not Generation X men. You're my generation. You're probably not even before my generation. You're not a Generation X man.
Fuck you mean I'm not Generation X?
You're not Generation X, Kevin. You're probably older than I am.
When did Generation X start, BB King?
They started like after my generation.
What year did Generation X start, ma'am?
Pardon?
What year did Generation X start, ma'am?
They started in the 90s, like 2000.
Generation X started in 1960.
1960?
See, I want you to understand why she's single. There it is right there. You're going to come tell me what the fuck I am on my show. And I'm older than you and I know more than you. And you're going to sit there with a straight face and tell me what I ain't.
I don't think Generation X.
I don't give a shit what you think. You're wrong.
Okay, I'll give you that then. I'll have to double check on that, Kevin.
That's why these women don't get. I want y'all to understand. Coming on here talking about they don't want to commit. Why does anybody need to commit to a cantankerous, hard to get along with old woman?
But I'm not cantankerous.
Oh yeah, ma'am, you just proved it.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are, and you still arguing. Yep, you still arguing. Yep, you still arguing. Mm-hmm. You ain't this, you ain't that, you're not this, you ain't that, you're not older than me. And I'm like, ma'am, if you put you next to me, ma'am, you next to me, you standing next to me, who would have a better chance at dating? Can you pull more men than I can pull women? Thank you.
I think it would be both.
Can you do? Excuse me?
I think it would be both.
Man, if you, man, please. I know you got the light behind you, but it ain't that dark in the damn room.
But I'm not ugly. Are you saying I'm ugly?
No, I'm just better.
Because you wear a three-piece
No, because I'm better.
Because you ran into
Because I'm better. I'm in more demand than you. And that's the problem. We are in more demand than you. And I want you guys to understand, this is the ego of them. This is the ego. This is like talking to another goddamn man. That's why I'm doing this. Not to be rude, because all you got to do is trigger them. And this is what comes out. That's why they couldn't marry in their youth. That's why they couldn't get a relationship. Because even at 45 years old, you're still fucking difficult to deal with. Yeah, you are. And her name is Diva something. They always have diva names. You can't make that shit up, man. Woo! Bruh, they don't want to commit. Why the fuck would somebody want to commit to, oh my God. I'm asking. You're not this, you're not that. Oh, wow. You're not my age and you're not my cohort. Wow. And y'all wonder why Generation X men are some of the most confirmed happy bachelors, because we avoided being married to that. Generation X men are dancing a jig because the ones that are alive survive being married to that. That's what they avoided being married to. You're going to try to get some information and going to try to tell somebody what they right or wrong about. Whoa. We'd have about the same luck on the dating market. Really? Put me next to you. Because you're in a three-piece suit? No, because this is you. I could be in a t-shirt and joggers. That's still you. Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. You're like, oh, Kevin, that's mean. You shouldn't have said, what the fuck you mean, man? What? They don't want to commit. Who would want us come home? Man, we ain't got many more sunsets left in our life. Why would a man in Generation X want to go home to that? Why do they think we would want to go home to that? Y'all don't understand. Why do y'all think Generation X men would want to go home to this? Sitting on a couch, just foul mood. You think we want to come home to that? Bruh. Lucille! You think we want to come home to that? Go get me some pinto beans. Man, if you don't get, and you wonder why I date younger women. Are you serious? Talk about singing the blues. Singing the blues is being married to one, something, dealing with something like that. Commit? Why would, that shit, boy. The arrogance and attitude of these women, man, it's like, this is going to be studied for years to come. Almost 50 years old, talking like she a bad bitch. Oh my God. You cannot make that shit up. Oh my God. I'm sorry, man. Sometimes it even takes you away, boy.
Holy shit, look at that rabid hyena just ripping this guy's nuts off.
That's toxic.
From the streets, I'm a bitch from the streets. I get that money. I get that money. Bitch, give me what you got. I get that money.
I got nothing left after hollering at BB, y'all. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. Why can't they commit? Wow, shit. I'm telling you, man, if you want to see happy men, look at Generation X men, 41 to 55, who survived and still have their sanity. They are like, oh my God, I am glad I am not sitting next to Sister Aura. Ooh, man, because years gone by, that would have been somebody's wife. And oh, Lord have mercy, she'd have probably, this is why men die earlier, to get away from their ass. It's like, oh my God. Go on ahead and get you some mothball draws and invest. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
You couldn't make this stuff up.
You couldn't make this stuff up. Oh my God, guys. I'm sorry. That is an encapsulation. And I want you guys to, if you want to understand why Generation X men are the way they are, you dealt with that in their youth for decades. That kind of energy, that kind of mindset. Oh, well. All right, Instagram. Peace out. So, that was fun. Y'all should be tired, man. I get energized. I get energized because I get to actually show the world and you guys what's really going on, let you decide what you think. And then men get to see that they're not crazy. Men get to see that they are not crazy for experiencing what they experienced. So it energizes me because men are, every day I walk out, men are like, thank you. Thank you. I thought it was only me. I thought it was just, no, man. No. All right, y'all. But you know how it is. Till next time. Peace, two fingers, we're gone. Uh-oh, that didn't happen right. What was supposed to happen? Let me see. That's supposed to happen. Forget it. I'll do it next time. I'm out. Later.